Shelby from Staying Books, and it is time for another Top 5 Wednesday. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Top 5 Wednesday, it is run by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and I will link both her channel and the Goodreads group down below for you if you want to check out our topics or how everything works. This week's topic is favorite spooky settings. This could be settings that exist in books or ones that you'd like to see in books, and it doesn't even have to be something like horror scary, just something that's like atmospheric, eerie, maybe a little macabre. So what for in your head is something that you enjoy being a little bit of a spooky setting? Number 5 for me, I love that image of like the rocky shoreline at night. Just dark out, maybe a little bit of moon on the water, but the jagged rocks out into the ocean and down the cliffside. You could just imagine someone walking along that cliff and the ghostly white figure of the woman walking along the shoreline, and just spooky as all get out. You can atmospherically write this so incredibly, and I love that image of the unknown figure walking along a rocky cliff and in the moonlight, not really sure, are they alive, are they dead, are they a ghost, is she bemoaning a lost love? Is she looking to jump? I mean, it just could be anything. And just imagine the like white gown trailing out behind her. For number 4, I go Gothic cathedral all the way. Like those old, absolutely gorgeous cathedrals that are built and for their architecture with gargoyles and carvings and stonework and, you know, stained glass windows. There's something that can be incredibly spooky about that particular style of architecture when done in the like right timing. You know, you can, when it's all empty and you have the creepy old priest who's been running that cathedral or Gothic church for generations and just is like old and bent and comes out of the door and is just staring at the kids and the people walking by and just like don't know what's going on inside there. I don't know. I just think it could be really, really creepy. Number 3 is one that I think just works really well in like crime novels or like when someone's been murdered, and it's those old, ginormous, like huge drain pipes that are built into hillsides. And there's something spooky about this dark, dark drain pipe that maybe there's a little bit of water leaking out of it and it's all overgrown with plants and you're looking and you can't really see the end of it, or maybe there's like the glint of light at the end through the hillside. Such a perfect place for a murderer and to find a dumped body. I could just see the like police tape around the outside as everyone like trying to figure out what happened in this mystery crime kind of thriller, serial killer maybe, like just could be really, really creepy. Number 2 for me is definitely an atmospheric thing. It has like, there's something about it that could be either really, really beautiful or really, really creepy. And that's an overgrown forest. Not your nice, normal forest where everything's kind of cleared out underneath. You can easily walk amongst the beautiful trees and the canopy. No, I'm talking like the undergrowth is so thick, you can't see the light of day through the trees. There's maybe the like tiny little deer trail that winds through as the like forest looms over the top of you and it's so dark underneath you can't see 5 feet in front of you, and spider webs and just weird forest calls that you'll hear and go, oh my god, what was that? Or the tree branch that you step on that snaps. It can just be such a cool way to feel like you're overwhelmed by the setting around you. There's so much that can be done within that to build suspense and trick the reader into thinking something crazy is going to happen or lead them up into something spooky, and who knows what you can find in an overgrown forest. I mean, there's so many millions of possibilities, from fantasy elements to real life elements to just the unexpected. You know, who knows, you could come across a clearing that's got the witch's house, or you could have a griffin come pounding through the forest and take you out, or just creepy crawlies that like get in under your skin. I mean, there's so many possibilities within a forest. You could do pretty much anything. But it still doesn't quite come close to my number one spooky environment or setting, because to me, this one is just inherently spooky when you think about it. And that is any type of abandoned hospital, insane asylum, prison. Because the thing is, in real life, you know people have died there. And most of the abandoned places have like these epic, amazing ghost stories or real life events that happen there that you're just like, oh God, that's like creepy. Like there was a serial killer that ran through there, or these people were murdered, or their bodies were never found, or their just pieces were found. Oh my God, like there's so many creepy places around this country that you can just find the history of and look at the dilapidated building as it's broken down, and there's graffiti everywhere and things just busted up and thrown around within the spaces. Any of the three of them can be spooky as hell. Like you think of a boiler room in an insane asylum. I mean, you could have ghosts throughout the whole building and just scary things turn on or don't, or you hear sounds and you get ripped down hallways, and they're great venues for movies as well. But just imagine being locked in an abandoned building that once housed the insane or prisoners, and the creaks and groans of that building, because of course they're built at a time period with the structure and stuff is not as sound as it is now, and so there's space for air to get through. I was shooting a movie in Portugal, and we were shooting in this abandoned prison, and it's all like from pre-World Wars. I mean, this place, there is no heating. There is no warmth or it's all just stone and iron bars and little holes that prisoners like pass stuff through. So creepy. I mean, it was just incredible, amazing, and so much fun to be there. We were freezing our butts off because it was December, and we're just little space heaters trying to stay warm in this building as we're shooting. And we were using it as a place that they were selling human beings. Like it was a slave trade, like female sex slave traders. It's where he kept the women. It worked so well because the building itself and these tiny little cells and bars was so disturbing. I can't imagine being a prisoner there. Like, no. So, for me, number one, spooky in and of itself, just incredibly eerie setting. I mean, because it can be eerie, it can be macabre, it can be anything your little brain can come up with. Like, yeah. But, yeah, definitely the abandoned hospital, insane asylum, prison kind of thing, because I just think it's spooky and my brain goes into 500 different things and stories that could be within that building and what could have happened there, real or imagined. It's the kind of spooky that works for me because it's all mental. The over-the-top, abundantly scary stuff, just not my cup of tea. I like the things that on the surface could be totally normal or natural or taken out of context, could just be this really great thing. But then when your brain gets involved and starts imagining all of the things that could have gone on there or that could happen, and that's when it gets spooky. That's when it's incredibly awesome. Well, that is my top 5 favorite spooky settings. I think they all have a little bit of the creep factor into them and get your brain working in ways. I'd love to know what you think. If there's someplace else that you thought of that you think is way creepier than anything I came up with, let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe. I can't wait to hear what you all are thinking. I mean, it's the perfect time of year. It's the end of October. We got Halloween coming up. Where your head's at right now? Are you living in the land of spooky? Have a great day. Bye.